belching the entire afternoon. There are also those who believe that Euridice and Antenor did indeed fall in love, but that their love lasted for all of one dance at a masked ball at the Naval Club. The fact is, they married, to a packed church, followed by a reception at the bride's house. 200 cod croquets, 2 crates of beer, and a bottle of champagne for the toast when the time came to cut the cake. The neighbor, a violin teacher, offered to play at the reception. Everyone pushed their chairs off to the side, and the couples danced the waltz. Since Euridice had no friends, there were few young women at the reception. There were 2 of her aunts who weren't so old, a not-so-attractive neighbor, and another not-so-charming cousin. The most beautiful woman was to be found in the room's only picture frame. "Who's the woman in this picture?" asked one of the groom's friends. Antenor nudged his friend. "What kind of manners are those?" The young man looked in embarrassment from side to side, then at the glass in his hand. He set his beer down on the table and walked to the other end of the room. It was a simple ceremony, followed by a simple reception, followed by a complicated honeymoon. There was no blood on the sheets, and Antenor grew suspicious. "Where on earth have you been?" "I haven't been anywhere." "Like hell you haven't." "No, I haven't." "Don't go making excuses. You know exactly what we should be seeing here." "Yes, I know. My sister explained it to me." "A slut. That's what you are." "Don't say that, Antenor." "I'll say it as many times as I want. Slut, slut, slut." Alone in bed, her body tucked beneath the sheets, Euridice wept softly with each slut she heard. With each slut the whole block had heard. And because the entire experience had hurt, first between her legs, and then inside her heart. In the weeks that followed, things calmed down, and Antenor decided there was no need to take his wife back to her family. She knew how to make the bits of onion disappear. She washed and ironed well, seldom spoke, and had a terrific rear. What's more, the incident on their wedding night served to increase his stature within the relationship, so much so that he looked down on his wife when addressing her. Euridice went along with it. She'd always known she wasn't worth much. No one listing her profession as housewife on the census form could be worth much at all. Cecilia came into the world 9 months and 1 day after the wedding. She was a smiley and pudgy little baby, welcomed with celebration by the relatives, who exclaimed, "She's beautiful." Afonso came into the world the following year. He was a smiley and pudgy little baby, greeted with celebration by the relatives, who repeated, "It's a boy." Responsible for doubling the size of her family in under 2 years, Euridice decided to retire from her marital duties. Since she had no easy way to make Antenor accept her decision, she made herself understood by gaining pound upon pound. Extra pounds talk, extra pounds yell and scream, "Don't you ever touch me." Euridice followed breakfast with a 10 o'clock snack, lunch with a 4 o'clock snack, and dinner with a 9 o'clock supper. She soon had a triple chin. It looked as if her eyes had shrunk, and her hair could no longer frame her enormous facial features. When she saw she'd reached the right point, the point of making her husband never again come close to her, she adopted more nutritious forms of sustenance. She would diet on Monday mornings and during the hours between meals. Euridice's weight soon stabilized, much like the routine of the Gusmao Campello family. Antenor would go off to work, the children would go off to school, and Euridice would stay at home, making beef stew, and stewing over empty thoughts that made hers an unhappy life. She had no job. She'd already finished her schooling. How was she to fill the hours of the day after tidying up the beds, watering the plants, sweeping the living room, doing the laundry, seasoning the beans, cooking the rice, making the soufflé, and frying up the steaks? The thing is, Euridice was brilliant. Give her the proper equations, and she would design bridges. Give her a laboratory, and she would invent vaccines. Give her blank pages, and she would write classics.